Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's me, R-Squad911, back again with another DIY video. Been getting a lot of requests for this one to show how I did my my hose loom that goes from the Haslab Proton pack to the Hasbro Neutrona wand. Yes, so I don't really do DIY videos because it takes a lot of effort to do it, and I need to try to explain it properly. But of course, disclaimer, this is just for demonstration purposes only. I do not take responsibility for any damages to your pack or whatnot. So yeah, I'm clean of this if you guys screw up. But I'm going to try to explain this the best I can, and hopefully you guys will get great results like I did. All right, so show you the loom that I did. This is my loom. I bought the hose from CharlesworthDynamics. It was just easier. I'm sure I could have sourced my own, but his was the one that works. So I suggest that you guys buy it from him on Etsy. Get these CNLINKO connectors. Make sure it's the LP20. The LP16s are too small. And yeah, and I got this Scuba hose from AliExpress for $7. I got a black one because I just like the black versus the olive. I think it just looks more stealthy. Not going for super screen accuracy, but yeah, I'm trying to stay true to the form, I guess. Yeah, but already you can see as I'm fiddling with this how flexible that is. So when you're wearing the pack, it just drops down and it's just out of the way, doesn't snag anything. So it's really, really good. All right, so that's mine. And then this is the factory one. Of course, it's slightly modified because I was using it before. I cut off the connector and whatever. But already you can see how stiff it is. Like, it is hard to do this like that, right? And as you guys know, with the rubber connector that's on this end, it is just straight and it does not flex like that. It's just very stiff and it doesn't really move that much. So you have this 45-degree angle coming out of your pack here that could just snag and hit anything, and it just makes your hose stick out that much further. So we're going to get rid of that. You won't be using this anymore because you're going to have to be drilling into your wand. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So not for the faint of heart. You're going to have to open up this wand. You're going to have to do some cutting or splicing or tapping or soldering to get the power from this and even sound. So yeah, this is going to be difficult to show because I've already done it on this one. I have a new wand here that I'm going to open up to kind of show you how to do the flush mount of the connector. But yeah, let's just dive into it. I don't know how to explain it or how to go about this. So you got to go on Amazon. You're going to buy these CNLINKO connectors. I got a 4-pin for the pack. You can get a 6-pin, 8-pin, whatever. 2-pin if you just want to do power. And I was only able to get a 2-pin connector here for the wand because in Canada, to do this video, I could only get a 2-pin. 4 pins are only available in the US, and it'll take like 2 weeks to show up. So I just want to get this video out for you guys so you guys can at least get an idea of how to do it and attempt it. All right, so you're going to need this one, LP20. I'll put a link in the description below. You're going to need one with a plate like this, and then this one here. So this will go onto the plastic loom, and this one will go onto your pack. All right, you see that there? Also comes with a couple of screws. I use my own screws because these ones are Phillips heads and I'm using hex cap heads on there. And that will basically connect onto there. And then the next connector you're going to need is this one. So you can see it's different. It doesn't have a plate. This would be what the plate would be. And this one will go on the hose. And this one will go into your wand. And what I did differently than everybody else is everybody just kind of just took this part off and stuck this part inside the wand. So that, just say my hand is the wand, it's stuck in there, and they have this whole piece sticking out, which I found myself ugly. And when you had it, the wire coming out, it stuck, the hose stuck out even further out, like 1 inch out. And I just want it to be flush mounted, so when you connect it like so, it just looked a lot cleaner. And the way to do that is to shave around this housing, either with a Dremel or a belt sander, or if you want to do it by hand by sanding, that's up to you. But a belt sander is good because you can just kind of lay it on there and just kind of twist it around till you got enough shaved off that it would fit. And you go little by little until you get it snug all the way in there. Mine, at first just clicked right in, but as time went on, it kind of got loose. So I just put some hot glue around it, just stuck it in, held it in there, and it is solid, doesn't even move. So basically, yes, that's the parts that you need, like that, and the hose and the scuba tube, all in the links in the description below. So what I'm going to do is kind of like a short run of this to show you guys how I did it with this, do some soldering, and I have this brand new wand here that I'm going to open up right now, just so I can give a demonstration of how everything's going to look. Unfortunately, I'm not going to open up the wand to do any of the connections. It's just a lot of work to show you guys how to do it. There's other videos online of how to connect speakers and the power, but I have a short video of my wand opened up to show what's going on inside there. Okay, so brand new wand here. I'm not going to take that part off. Hopefully I can just slide off. I kind of wanted to keep this new in the box. I know, I'm a hoarder like that, right? Whoa. Everything went flying. Okay. So, I'm going to show you guys here. This is the factory wand. Silver tip, yes. Not that it matters. This is the battery pack here that comes out of there. And basically you're going to want to fit this end here into here. So a lot of people have it kind of sitting like that. I don't know. That's okay, I guess. If you guys don't want to shave it down, then you just kind of put some hot glue here and then just stick it on. It does sit pretty straight. So basically this part here is hitting the inside of there, that ridge. So what you're going to want to do is you want to sand down this part, round it out, and then round out some of this, right, until it just fits flush. So it would sit all the way in like this. So basically you want it to clear inside there. If the rails for this weren't in there, that slide into there, this would have just went in no problem. But if you want to have that flush look, you just have to belt sand all the way around this or Dremel it and then push it all the way in. And then you're good. And so that is that. For that demonstration purpose, just had to open that up just to show you guys that. Put this thing away. All right, so then you're gonna go to, so basically when you have it, where's that part? This part inside here. Sorry, where is that part? Yep, it's this part. When you have that part inside there, you're good to go. You're gonna take the other end. This, you're going to take it. You don't need to use these caps. I don't use these caps. They're just pointless for this. And what's nice about the CharlesworthDynamics hose, I think it's a 1-inch hose. It actually screws on to the CNLINKO connector. Just kind of screw it in like so. It does kind of catch like the plastic ribs in there, which which is nice. And it actually screws on quite tight. And you can see that, it's on there. It's pretty secure on its own like that. You can stretch it a little. It's pretty secure, but what I still do is I put, you know, and kind of gives it that more finished look. I would put electrical tape around there just to hold it on, just like this. All right? And that's basically how you do that. So I'll unscrew that. That. Then, yes. So, get rid of this. So now I'm going to cut to a video that I filmed a few days ago when I was doing the gun knobs and the S-hook on this wand. I had the wand opened and I had close-up videos of where I soldered, where I T-tapped to get power and audio out of the wand. So basically, you're going to open up this rail. You're going to find the soundboard. You're going to cut some plastic pieces out to give you space. You're going to either T-tap the power or T-tap and T-tap the sound, depending if you want one or the other or both. You're going to have to drill a hole through from the inside on an angle so that the wires can come out there. I don't know if you guys can see it right there where my finger is. Right there. And then the drill bit will go all the way up through the grip handle. And of course you get rid of whatever's inside there that connects to the pack. And then you just fish the wires out. So you're going to have these wires sticking out here, and that's when you solder it. Which part is it? This part? Yes, this part. And then you're going to solder it onto these pins. All right, so make sure when you guys do it, the wires are through here first, because if you solder on here, how are you going to get this back? You're going to have to rip the wires back out. So basically, wires sticking out, slide this through the wires, let that dangle, and then solder this, stuff that in there, or solder it, screw it on to where you need it, and then stick it into your wand. And then you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to cut to the video now. Okay, so I'm filming this video before, since I'm already modifying my wand right now. I'm putting these S-hooks on and I'm putting on these gun knobs. I'm going to show you guys, because I'm going to screw this back all in and I don't want to take it apart again to show you guys when I do the CNLINKO quick disconnect. So basically, when you open up your wand, it's going to look like this. And the speaker's here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to have to find your speaker wires, which are the two yellows there. It's a mono speaker, so really, it doesn't really matter which positive and negative is. So basically find these two wires here, which is speaker cables. You'll take a T connector like I have here. I'll bring it up to the camera. You have a T connector here, and you're going to connect it to these two wires. Positive, negative, you know, positive top, negative bottom. Doesn't really matter. I'm just mentioning it. And then you would put the positive, negative wires there. And then you would feed it. You would take off this cover here. Then you would feed it through underneath here. I cut away this plastic bar here. You don't need it, just so you can have better access to the wires inside. You feed it underneath here, and then you take your drill, and I don't know if you guys can see the hole that I did there. But you drill on an angle into there, and it will, you go all the way through into the handle. So you can see the wires that come through here into the handle here. So you're going to take out the battery pack that's in there, obviously, and then you're going to feed those wires through there. I have the wand power and the speakers, and they come through here. So that was the speakers. Wand power, you were going to have to grab it, use another T connector and grab it. I think the power is here. This is the positive for power right here, and that's the negative. Do not use those ones beside it that are beside each other. That's positive, that's a negative. You're going to use another T connector and run those wires. I'd use like a 22 gauge or smaller so you can fit it through that hole. So you're going to drill, I don't know, like a 3 to 4 millimeter size hole. You're not going to damage any structural integrity or whatever, and then you're going to feed those wires through. Those wires are going to come out, and you're going to pull them all the way up through here. Then you're going to take this connector, solder them onto there, taking note of where you do it. I like to do it diamond pattern. Yeah, top would be positive, bottom would be negative for speaker. Left would be negative, right would be positive for the power to the wand. So that's how it will go. And then once you feed it through, you solder them on, and then you can start modifying this piece here so it can stick in and be clean like this. All right, so back to the video. Hopefully that video was helpful, just trying to give you guys like a visual look of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. This wand, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but this wand is so heavy now from the clipboard and all these metal parts that it's actually bending the stand. So getting rid of that stand, just gonna let it sit like that. All right. So anyways, like I was saying, definitely not for the faint of heart. It does require a certain level of skill set to open up the pack, either to solder or to T-tap, one or the other. You just need to take your time, take care, and just, you know, make sure you're more precise than usual, because you want to cross the polarity. You want to make sure you get the proper wires. For the speaker, positive, negative, it doesn't really matter. It's a mono speaker, so you can put negative, positive on either, but make sure it matches when you solder it onto this and it connects into the loom. All right. And for positive, negative, for the power, that is very, very important. You do not want to mix up positive and negative, all right? So like I said earlier, you just write down where the positions of where you want to have positive and negative, and then you would do that exactly the same on all the other connectors. Never mix that up, all right? You can use a voltmeter to test to make sure you have the right continuity for each one, and then you should be good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this connector off this pack here. If you are doing the audio connection, you're going to have to take apart the pack. But if you're just doing the positive, negative, I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 90% sure you can just do it from the outside. You just remove the 4 screws that's holding this. This is the factory piece. So the 4 screws here. And then this would just pull out, and it would expose the wires here. And I just cut those wires off. All right. And this is from the factory hose. That's what connects here. And then you kind of spin it on like so. So yeah. So once you unscrew that and you pull it out, you'll have a red and black wire. Red being positive, black being negative. Just kind of pull it out there, clip it so you just have enough, you know, enough sticking out of the pack that you can solder. And then of course, if you are doing the audio, then those 2 extra wires in there would go out into a 3.5 millimeter mono cable. You're going to have to create that, and then it would stick into the aux port on the speaker on the outside of your pack. But if you're just doing positive, negative, it would just, the speakers on the wand would work, and the speakers on the pack will work. So yeah, depending on which configuration you want to go to. So basically, I'm going to simulate these as the wires coming, positive and negative wires coming out of the pack. So you're going to want to strip them like so. Actually, that is too much of stripping. You're going to want to go, I would say, as deep as one of these pins. So about 3-4 millimeters. All right, so let's do that. It's a little more. It's okay. this part doesn't have to be super precise. You kind of want to just tie them up like this, just spin them a little. All right, just like that. And then you're going to want to get some heat shrink. This one is 1/8 inch, as long as it fits over the pins like so. All right, and then you're just going to want to cut it doesn't have to be long, as long as it covers the pin. All right, just going to put those over that, like so, like so. Of course, it's supposed to stay there. Okay, so that'll be inside of the pack like that, and then you're going to be doing this. So I'm going to do positive top, negative bottom, and basically we're going to solder it like that. All right, let's get started on the soldering. I'm using this kind of like clip holder thing. You can buy it on Amazon. You don't really need it. It's much easier, and it's much easier to do a video. You can just do it straight on the table, which is what I did when I first did this. I didn't have this thing yet. And when I did get this, it was a game changer for me. It just makes soldering so much fun, so much easier. And another thing I'm using is this. This is the Works Maker X soldering iron. Really good tool to have. You can do different attachments. You can do a Dremel, you can do a hot glue gun, rotary cut tool. It's great for little small projects like this and for doing videos. Okay, so how am I going to do this? This is my way of doing it, is I fill this chamber up with solder. Like that. So yeah, we're going to zoom in here. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I was so zoomed out. Okay, so hopefully now you guys can see where I put in the solder. Right in there. I can fill it up some more. Like so. Sorry guys, this is really hard to do while filming. And then I'm going to heat up the solder like this, get it all liquid formed, and then I'm going to stick the wire inside, which is now not so spun up. Okay, so basically you really want to have these twisted up so it's a nice and tight spiral. All right, so now let's try this again. There we go. And then you just kind of let that solidify, and then that is good to go. And then that's kind of like a cold solder, so you just want to kind of hold this on there, let it really heat up with the wire, and then it'll really coat the wire, and it's good to go like that. And when you know that it's working is when all the solder starts going down, gets kind of sucked into the wire. All right, so that is that for the positive side. And we're going to flip this around to the negative. Like that. Hopefully you guys can see. We are going to fill this up with solder. Like that. And we're going to take our negative, heat that up. and that's in there. I didn't put enough solder in there initially, so we're going to add some solder on top. And then again, hold it on there, heat it up, make sure. And I can see the solder is dripping down into the wire. And then let her cool. And we have a great connection. Like that. All right. So we'll take this thing off. We'll zoom out now. You can see that we are solid. It's not going anywhere. Then you put your heat shrink over top. My hands are very dry, so everything is very slippery. Let's kind of do that. Same thing with this side. And then you just heat it up with a heat gun and it shrinks down, and that kind of gives it some strain relief there. So yeah, that's how it's going to look. It's going to sit like that on the pack. And then to screw it in, you basically use these screws, or you can use the factory screws. I used M3 screws that were about, I don't know, half an inch to 3/4 inch long. And then you just kind of force them into the old factory screws. It will screw in, but I wouldn't tighten each one fully at first. I'd do one, get a couple of threads in, do the next one diagonally, a couple of threads in, next one, couple of threads in, next one, couple of threads in, and then you just slowly tighten each. Not all at once, like not one all the way down. You just kind of go slowly, halfway in, halfway in, halfway in, halfway in. Because this is ever so slightly bigger than this one. But if you go slowly, it will fit perfectly. So I didn't have to drill or do anything, and it worked 100% fine. All right, so just go slow, and then until each one's just tightened. It's going to take a while, but just do it like that, and you don't have to do any drilling or tapping or whatever. And then for good measure, if you want, you can open up the pack and put some bolts and washers in the back just to give it some more rigidity. That's what I did on mine. And that's it for that. So now you're ready to do the loom. All right, so basically we're going to take this part here. This is the piece that will connect from the hose to the pack. So this is now the part that has been done that we just did on the pack, positive and negative. And then of course, if you're going to do speakers, it'll be wherever you want to put the speakers. Just remember, again, you can't, repeat this enough. Remember where you wire your wires, all the positions, okay? So you're going to take this piece here, you're going to unscrew it like so. This part screws into this part here, and that's what keeps it secure. You're going to have that, don't lose that. And then you're going to remove this part here, press this. That's what connects onto that top part there. And that is top. So that part's going to be positive. This part's going to be negative. This is your hose. You're going to run, I'm using 3 wire here, and then extra black wire here, because we're going to have 4 in case you want to do future, speaker cables, right? So I'm going to use black and red for the power, and then I'll use green and white for power for the speaker. So I use white as positive, green for negative, just lighter color for positive, darker color for negative, just like, black and green, right? So there we go. We're going to feed it through the loom. This is obviously not the full-size loom. It's just easier to do it this way. A good way to feed it through the loom, because when you do it, it's just going to keep grabbing onto the ribs. You're going to take your electrical tape, I'm going to tie these ends like this so it has nothing to grab on the sides. Then you just feed it through like so. Like that. All right, so it doesn't matter which end we start off with. Let's start off with this end. We're going to do the positive and negative. Again, you're going to strip them just as deep as the pins, or just slightly longer, it's fine. The heat shrink will protect it. Twist it all up. Twist that all up. All right, you want to put the heat shrink on it. I'm going to skip that part. Actually, I'm not going to skip that part. Why? Why would I skip that part? We're going to do this video somewhat properly, even though I'm missing a whole bunch of other parts. That's okay. You guys are going to get the idea. You guys are strong, smart, capable people, right? Okay. So, what you need to remember to do is make sure you fish these through. You do not need this rubber piece in there. Take that out. Because if you solder it, these are the wires that are coming out. Actually, no, well, you'll be safe one way. Because if you solder this part on, how are you going to get this piece on? You're going to have to take the loom back out, fish it through here, and then fish it back through the loom. So let's not do that, right? I'm going to put this through here, like so. And you're also going to, I think this part we can leave off, because you can, no, you have to put this through too. So you have to put this through too. Put it all through, like that. And that's basically it. And then this will go into there, and then you're golden. All right, so let's set this thing up. This is a little trickier. Actually, it's not trickier, it's actually easier because your clip can hold onto here. So you're going to remember this is the top. And also on all the CNLINKOs, the top one sticks out a little bit more. The pin, you can see it there. So that's not a defect, they just do that for you. All right, so that's the top. That's going to be my positive. Okay, it is all heated up. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to fill this thing up with solder. Like so. Top is positive. Going to heat up the solder so it is liquefied. Like so. There is the heat shrink there. Then we are going to flip this thing around. And the bottom is negative. This is the bottom here. And another nice thing about these CNLINKO connectors is each each contact point is actually numbered. So you can also, if you're worried that you've messed it up, just kind of go by the numbers too. Right, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would just match 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 3, 4 goes to 4. It's not rocket science. Okay, we're going to connect the negative. Going to heat it up. And just for time purposes, we're just going to leave it like that, just to show you guys. So you're going to heat it up again, make sure, you know, all the solder has went through the wire, because you don't want to kind of cold solder it. And I hate doing DIYs because I'm just worried that people are going to judge me on how I solder. I swear I do it way better, way better in a quiet, non-video taking DIY thing happening. So please forgive me. And that's how we're going to do it. And then you would do the same for the speaker wires after, if you are doing speakers. I'll zoom back out. And then again, I'm not going to heat shrink these because I'm going to take these apart after. There's no point in such a short loom unless I'm doing a mini proton pack. All right. So move this out of the way. You're going to want to now put that into your CNLINKO body, and then you're going to take this end here and screw it into the back of it. All right, so now it's solid. And then you're going to put this on here, and you are going to twist it on. It screws really nicely onto the loom. Look at that. And it actually gets on there pretty tight. And then you want to put your, where's my electrical tape? Right here. I'm going to put some electrical tape around there. Even if you want to put some hot glue on the threads and then thread them in, that's fine too. Or crazy glue. Hot glue might solidify too quickly. I'm doing such a horrible tape job. Like so, do a nice clean cut. And boom, there you go. You have a very strong connection, and that will click right into your pack like that. So nice solid connection, right? And what I just realized is on the pack side, you're going to want to do the scuba hose. So whatever we did there, you can kind of do it for the wand. So this side would be what the wand looks like. And it would go into the wand like so. All right? Because then, yeah, you don't have the scuba hose here. But these connectors are super nice. You can see how solid these pins are when they go in. I mean, the factory ones are very similar, but I think the worst part was these here were very, very thin metal, so it didn't grab as well as the CNLINKO ones. They're just much more solid, built much sturdier, right? They were just purposely built for that, whereas Hasbro, they just made these just for the pack, right? They probably didn't do as much R&D as CNLINKO did with their connectors, but who knows? All right, so I'm not going to do this other end, like I said, just because it's basically the same for both sides, soldering and positioning. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do the gas hose. All right, so we're going to take that off. I'm going to unscrew this. And there's a trick to this. All right, so I'm going to pull this all the way out. And I'm going to show you guys, this is the factory rubber. Like, this is me trying to bend it. It just bends. Or like, yeah. So no good, no flexibility whatsoever. People have been heating it and trying to bend it into shape. Don't that just doesn't work very well. And then this is the scuba tube. Here, you can see that. I can do this to it and it does not kink or anything. So this is what we're going to use. Basically, it's going to attach to here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use a zip tie to zip it. And then you're probably wondering, if I use a zip tie, this is so soft, how is it going to grab? So the trick is, you're going to take this part here. This part that's screwed into there, you're really not going to use that anymore because that part, when it goes into the scuba hose here. Sorry, let me get it through. The ribs are a little bigger, so it does kind of grab on the edges more than that loom. Basically, that is going to push over top of your CNLINKO connector. It's going to go over this body here. Like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to zip tie it to there. All right. So basically you're going to take your saw and you're going to cut this part off. Right? And then once you have that part off, you're going to screw it into here. And what that does is it gives you a solid, hard piece in here. So you're going to have this inside your loom, or your loom inside the hose, and then you're going to zip tie it here, and it's going to grab onto the part that you cut off here. So you can zip tie it really hard without worrying to crush this, because it is the internal diameter of inside there. All right. Okay, so let's kind of assemble all of this together to give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like in the end. So I'm going to add this little clip inside my video. I'm already done filming my DIY, but I found this piece inside the extra pieces that comes with the Neutrona wand, the Hasbro, Neutrona wand. This is just, Hasbro provided this for us to add our own loom to it. So this side screws onto the wand and this side gets the loom. So instead of cutting the CNLINKO, I highly suggest you cut this. This is a much better option. So if you leave the end on the CNLINKO, you can, I guess, you put the loom further down and you have more surface area to zip tie to. So I would cut this off. It's just, you know, it doesn't go all the way through. So just cut it from here. And then I would fit that into the tube. And then once that's in the tube, then you can put the Scuba tube over it and zip tie it on it, and it'll be very, very secure. And it kind of has this kind of like lip here on the side, so you can't really pull it out. So yeah, highly suggest using this. Okay, let's start assembling this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have the wire through here, obviously. Like so. And you're going to want to have this thing over top of the connector as far as you can go. And then you can feel it at this rib here. Of course, you can flare this out better so it looks nicer. Then you're going to take your zip tie. You're going to zip it on here. I'm using a white zip tie so you guys can just see what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna go super tight, like so, right? You can use a smaller zip tie with a smaller head or whatever. And then you're gonna put it through your loom here. Of course, my wire's not long enough. I was just doing it for demo purposes because of this added length here. So it's not sticking out the end there. And then, of course, you're going to have that piece that you cut off like this. Have that off inside there. And you're going to put this through this end of this hose. So you can twist it in. Make sure you get it good past this rib. So that's when you zip tie it there. I only have one zip tie, so I can't really show you how to zip tie. You guys are adults. I figured you guys will know how to do a zip tie. Plus, if I did it now, I don't have that piece in there, so it would crush it. So then you have it about this far in, and then you would zip tie it there, and it would hold it on. So it's going to basically look like this, which is really nice, right? Very flexible. And then this side, obviously with the Scuba hose, will connect right there. You can just put it up here and zoom in. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. Let's show you what it's supposed to look like in the end. So we're going to compare my complete finished wire loom or hose loom, like so. I made mine a little longer. I don't know, you can do whatever length you want. I think they give you like a 2-foot length anyways. So it's nice. And then that's my big zip tie that I put on there. It looks more industrial. And yeah, after that, it's going to come out to the other end like how I had it without this. And I guess that's it. The only tough part is the wand. The pack side is super easy. So if you just wanted to leave the other end like the factory loom like this, you can. You just change that one end of the connector because that helps people with connectivity issues, and it just makes a solid connection and it looks great. And there's nothing wrong with this connection either. It's just, I just wanted to do it because I was modifying my whole pack anyways, and I like to tinker and I like to do stuff myself. And yeah, it was kind of fun doing it. Would I do it again? Probably not. If a friend asked me to help them to do it, would I? Yes, because that's how I am. But if I wanted to do it again for myself, I probably wouldn't. But yeah, that is my video. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, just message me here, or you can find me on Sticky Graphics Canada on Etsy. You can private message me there and I can give you pointers. You can even add me on to Messenger and I can help you guys on the fly there. If I do get a lot of questions and a lot of traffic, I might be a little slow at getting back to you, but I will get back to you. And I will try my best to point you in the right direction. Not do it for you, obviously. I'm here in Canada. But yeah, I'm always here to help. And yeah, please like and subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.